Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
New Life Live is back, and we are ready to serve you today. My name is Brian Perez, and we count it a privilege to try and help you with your problems and dilemmas, whether it's about squabbles with your children, be they adult children or young children, maybe bipolar disorder, addiction. We can talk about all this and more today on New Life Live, and here to give you great free advice. We've got clinical psychologist Dr. Alice Benton. How are you, Alice?
Hello, having a great morning. Thank you.
And licensed marriage and family therapist Marc Cameron's here too. What's on your mind to start us off, Marc?
Well, my wife and I recently came back from a Mediterranean cruise that started in Rome, and so we spent a few days in Rome. And you guys have heard the saying, "When in Rome, do as the Romans do." And so now, usually the cities in Europe are a little bit different than most cities in the U.S. They're more concentrated. They're not as spread out. They're not built in blocks, and so it's a little bit more complicated to figure out where you're going, and it's more congested at times. And so public transportation is a lot of times more convenient and affordable than driving. And so we traveled with several other American families, but they preferred to take the taxis and the Ubers everywhere. But that can quickly add up. And so because I grew up in London, I'm familiar with transportation systems. So we decided that we were going to meet them at different places and we would take the public transportation. Now, the most challenging journey
Is that like the tube? Is that what it's called?
Well, the metro, but in
okay.
London, but it's the metro in other countries. Now, the most challenging journey we encountered was at the Greek island of Santorini. When you get there you have to go up a cliff. Now, we were one of the first people off the boat, and so thankfully they had a cable car that goes up. But that cable car can only take about 36 people every 5 minutes. And when you've got, on average, 3,000 people on a cruise, when it was time to come back, the line was like 2.5 hours long, and it was really in the scorching sun. So we decided we're going to take the stairs down, and it's about 600 stairs down. And so we did that. It kind of weaves back and forth. It zigzags, and we had to negotiate going around the donkeys. The locals give rides up and down. And with donkeys, of course, there's donkey poop. And so, I mean, it was kind of a grueling way down, but it was like we could either wait for the convenience or we could go down. And we went down, and it was probably about an hour and a half quicker to do that. So here's my point in all of this, is that these journeys were challenging, but by doing it the locals' way, we arrived quicker and we spent much less. But both options came at a cost. You could have the cost of convenience and you end up paying the price, or you can do the hard thing like we did, and sometimes we didn't even have a seat on the train, but it saved us some money. So I would have also preferred the air conditioning and to be able to have a seat. But learning to tolerate discomfort actually enhances our appreciation for comfort. Now, growth only occurs under pressure, and it requires us to have discomfort. So in life, we've got to choose pain. We've got to embrace discomfort if we want growth. And so you can have the easy life now, and you have the hard life later. You can opt for the challenge now and the easy path later because you've grown. So here's my challenge to folks is, what challenge are you facing today? Maybe it's a work-related issue, or it's a family matter where maybe it's easier just to quit your job or to cut someone off. And that might be a quick fix that provides temporary relief, but it won't lead to growth. So if you embrace the challenge of discomfort, you might discover an opportunity to develop some tolerance muscles, and you might learn how to be able to sit with and consider constructive feedback, or learn how to navigate a difficult conversation.
While navigating donkey poo as well.
Well, and hopefully not while navigating donkey poo.
Yeah. For sure. All right, we are going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with your calls. We've got Marty standing by, also John and Justin and Zully. All of you are going to get a chance to speak with Dr. Alice Benton and Marc Cameron. So stay on the line, and anybody else who calls in will talk to you as well. This is New Life Live. Thank you for listening, and thank you for watching too.
We've been married 33 years. We attended the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop. Even though we've read books, or attended a few other marriage weekends, this was certainly different and a lot more intensive than initially that we thought.
When you come to intimacy in marriage, you're going to be immersed into a 3-day process.
Was not really sure exactly what to expect, but the idea of learning to really understand intimacy was intriguing. We had been in the same patterns of struggle over and over again.
If you've thought, I don't think we can ever change, we're just in this rut and we can't get out, the Intimacy in Marriage Workshop can help you get out of the rut.
The Intimacy in Marriage Weekend is July 25th to the 27th in Washington, D.C. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50. 1-800-639-5433.
I would highly recommend it.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
That's the number Marty called to get on with us today. She is in Pennsylvania listening on WBYN. Hi there, Marty. Welcome to New Life Live.
Hi.
Hello. How can we help you today?
Oh, well, I have a daughter who I think needs counseling. And she has a lot of control, wants control over me. I'm a senior citizen, and she would like to see me in a personal care unit, and I like being independent living. And my ability to pay my taxes and everything doesn't suit her. And she had actually under pressure of me all the time. She finally got her way with having a power of attorney. And she now basically tells me everything I should and should not be doing. And she has control over my bank accounts. And she left today. She was supposed to arrive today with a utility man here so she could help me save $200 a month on the bill. Well, it didn't work because she was very late. And he came earlier, and they didn't meet. They didn't talk. So that really ticked her off really hard. And then and she kept saying, "Oh, you're running out. It's going to cost you $200 more a month." And she just went on ranting and raving about everything.
Okay.
And my mail. She took the pile of the mail and just went through each one and ripped it up and threw it in a wastebasket. And it's she's just hard to cope with. And she wants to be nice, but she has been a businesswoman and with a friend, and the two of them have succeeded well. And she thinks that because she's able to do that, and she has a good filing system and everything, that I should have the same.
So she's trying to impose her skills onto you, but without asking for your opinion. And she even bypasses your opinion sometimes. This is difficult, Marty.
Yeah.
Would you tell us, is there any reason she has for like a physical concern or a cognitive concern because of which she doesn't think you can handle living on your own, even though you sound like you can?
Well, I think part of it might sound unreasonable, but years ago she lost a sister, the younger sister, and she was with her when the girl died.
Oh.
And I think that's had an influence on her ever since.
So she's overprotective, perhaps, because of that traumatic loss?
She's trying to protect me for her sister, too, see. She doesn't feel that she can do it by herself. And I, what can I say?
And was her sister who passed away not your daughter?
That's right. My daughter, her sister. She was only 2 years younger.
Okay.
And anyway, so I've gotten over it, but you don't ever get over it when a parent loses a child. And but I've tried to make the best of it, and she can't seem to. And she has an anger streak, and she really was in it today.
And she misuses some of that power over you, and I think it's worrisome to you. You're worried of what she's going to try to make you do, like going to live in a home when you're not ready to. What do you want from us about it? How can we help you?
What can I do? I called her husband and said that when I should tell you first that while she was sitting here and we're looking at my papers and mail and everything, and I was making some excuses for wanting to write a check to this company and to that organization, and she didn't say, she said, "Oh no, look, this is a scam." She said, I told you don't believe me. You don't believe anything I say. And she went on about ranting about how I don't believe her, and so I can't, maybe shouldn't be writing checks to these organizations that are spam anyway, scam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So anyway, that was a lot of it this morning, and
the courts have given her financial power of attorney over your accounts.
And you were initially in agreement with that, but now you're second guessing it because of how abrasive she is.
Yeah, I knew that she would become somewhat controlling, but I didn't know it would get to this point. And she was so upset, and her body was starting to show it. And she finally got up and left. She said, "I can't take this anymore." And she had bought lunch, food, groceries, and I said, I'll make you a sandwich from, everything as it was here. No, she said, well, first she said yes, and then when I got the sandwich made, she'd gone out the door and gotten in the car.
So, Marty, I would recommend trying something. It always helps to start with genuine gratitude when you have to address a really thorny problem like this. So I'd have you tell her something, only what you genuinely can say. Something like, "I know you're trying to protect me. You come over here so often. You're giving a lot of time and energy to me. Thank you. I know you're loving me and you're trying to help me. I do need to admit that sometimes your approach is too abrasive and you're pushing me to do things I'm not ready to do yet. And I need us to have a calm discussion about this because I can still handle some level of independence, even if you're not ready for it. But I still need to be independent. Are you willing to talk this through with me and to consider being gentler and backing off some things?" Now, she may be too abrasive to receive that, so maybe she'll get mad and start arguing with you. And if that's the case, then I would recommend trying out family counseling and maybe even have her husband involved, especially if he's more level-headed than she is right now. Because you might need an arbitrator to help talk this through and to help your daughter hear something she can't seem to hear from you directly. How do you feel about my advice?
I think that's true. What you're saying, I've already tried a little bit of that. She came back in the house this morning, and she came back for, I can't remember. She can't remember what she came back. She brought the groceries. I had some groceries that she stopped for, and it had to go on when she left the first time, and came back with them. And that's a nice thing to do. And she paid for them. She wouldn't let me pay for them. And anyway, so as it was, I said, you're angry right now. I said, you need to calm down. And she just ignored me. And so when you said something else, I said that I appreciated things that she had been doing. And she had already said earlier, well, I gave up my day to come over here, and and this is what I get, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Mark,
as it turned out, she lives about a half hour away from my house, so she has a busy life on her own, so she doesn't need me in it, see? And,
so Marty, I was going to suggest something similar to Alice. I think you need somebody in your corner who has some credibility, who can vouch for your capabilities. So getting into therapy and either invite her to go to therapy, as family therapy, or you start to see a therapist yourself, and then let that therapist get to know you and to see the capabilities that you have, and then invite your daughter in, and then that way you've got somebody who has aligned with you, and they've got to know you, and they've got to ask some really good questions. And sometimes therapists can ask the hard questions too of us and get us to be able to self-reflect in different ways when it would be harder having someone, a family member say it to us because, one, because of our relationship with them, or two, because they can be more abrasive that way. But I think you need somebody who's in your corner who has that level of credibility. And then that also if she comes to therapy with you, it's almost like driving on the side of the road. If the cop's there, everybody drives the speed limit, right? And so it has that, that observer bias there, where she would be
on her best behavior.
Yeah, on her best behavior to engage. Where you can say some of the things that Alice has suggested, and there's more of a spotlight on her to respond appropriately.
I believe as well that if you voluntarily gave her power of attorney, I think you can change that. I hope that you don't have to, but if your daughter will not listen to you and won't receive help to figure out how to strategize this better, you can pick someone else to be your power of attorney, but consult with your attorney about that. But I'd also have the family consider, what about a paid caregiver? Because maybe too much is being asked of my daughter. She's got too busy of a life. She can't come over and visit this often. Can the family pool together some resources to pay some part-time help to come in and assist me? Let's take the burden off my daughter.
Mm-hmm. Doing Life with Your Adult Children might be a good book to send to Marty there in Pennsylvania. Thanks for calling in today. But you know what? Let me play devil's advocate just for a couple of minutes here or less.
You do it so well.
I do. No, so Marty's daughter means well. Mm-hmm. Some people might say. Somebody listening might say, well, wait, that's like my situation because my mom falls for these financial scams all the time. Personally, I know this because it used to happen to my mom all the time. She'd get things in the mail and she would write checks to all these organizations. Who are these people? We don't even know. She fell for a phone thing one time that somebody called her and, depleted her bank account. Maybe not depleted, but it was just one of these things that how do you get all this back? So it could be, Marty, that your daughter is looking out for you. Maybe you've spent money before on, you thought it was a well-meaning organization, but it turned out it wasn't. So what do you say?
It's a great point that we really always need to take the beam out of our own eye first before removing the speck from somebody else's. And so some self-reflection, Marty, and even getting the opinion of a couple of other people in your life that you trust. Do I give in too easily? Does my daughter have some legitimate reasons to be concerned about me being so independent? Get that opinion from other people.
Yeah, I think it's fair what you're saying here, Brian. And we know, when someone calls in, we're just getting their side of the story. And I'm sure, Marty's daughter is being driven by love in a certain way, but we should also be able to communicate in a loving way. And I think that's what we're really wanting to steer her toward, is being able to have these conversations in a gentle, collaborative way.
What is some advice that you guys would give to adult children who are listening right now, and maybe they don't get into a rage like Marty's daughter does, but they've still lost that patience. They, mom and dad maybe don't move as fast as they used to, not just physically, but maybe even mentally. Maybe they don't have all their faculties there. And it can be kind of frustrating as the children. I mean, we're adults, and now we're trying to navigate how to handle mom and dad, and it's not always easy, and sometimes our patience wears thin. What can we do as adult children?
Yeah, it is stressful. Mm-hmm. It is stressful when you have to take greater responsibility to take care of your parents, but it's also understanding that it's a life transition for both, to be that age and then to lose some of your independence too. And so being able to have these conversations in a collaborative way and recognizing, we all have different windows of tolerance, but recognizing when, we're out of our window of tolerance and what else could be causing that for us. And is that an issue that we need to work on? Because there's external stresses going on for us and we're taking it out on someone else.
Yeah. We need a private place where we can offload our emotions. My mother's driving me crazy. We need to be able to say that to a private peer, whether that's a friend or a counselor or a small group like our New Life Recovery groups. And we need to make sure that we're getting fueled so that when we go into a person who tests our patience, we have gotten topped off on our fuel level. And we can do that by simple self-care, getting exercise, making sure we get rest, getting time away from the person that we're caring for. Sometimes we need community to come in to fill in for us so that we can get that time away.
Yeah, caregiver burnout is real. And so it can be hard when there's no respite care available, but it's being able to try and spread that around as much as possible in a family. But having someone to talk to is key too. Mm-hmm.
Someone else, so don't take it out on your parent. Don't yell at them. Don't, even it's the same thing. We've talked about this before with if it's an elderly parent who's maybe starting to go through dementia or something, and again, we feel these, you should remember these things. Why do I have to remind you every time? But it's not like that.
It's loss, it's grief. It's grief happening for both. It can be hard to see your parents aging and losing memory and feeling like you've got to be responsible, and you have all of these other responsibilities going on, work and your own family.
And choosing to grieve helps to dissolve the anger. So when we're disappointed, frustrated, mad, picking lamentations, picking grief, this is sad. Even if I don't have access to the sadness, but naming it, talking about it can then give us access to the sadness, which then tends to metabolize the anger.
And grieving together, if you can.
And we've got several resources about grief on our website, newlife.com, or you can call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE, or you can call us here in the studio when we're here. Lots more great phone calls coming up on New Life Live.
I was stuck. I was so stuck. 27 years married. My husband addicted to pornography for the majority of our marriage. I was very isolated and didn't really know which way to turn.
If you've been affected by betrayal, an emotional or physical affair, or pornography, Restore Intensive will equip you with support and tools to help you through.
When two people want to do their part, we can be restored. But if they don't, we can still be restored. We are not stuck because someone else made a decision. That God lets us weigh in on how we want to walk out our lives. Our wellness does not hinge on another person's decision.
The Restore Intensive is coming to Washington, D.C. November 7th to the 9th. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50.
You guys helped me figure out what was going on.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. Club New Life changes lives.
You guys came along into my life in 2022. That was a really, really difficult year of my life.
You can help New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people by joining Club New Life today.
I began to really process a lot of things that I've needed to for a long time, and y'all were a very big part of that.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
I came out of it having never experienced anything like that, and y'all were there.
Join today and help continue the message of hope to a troubled world.
I knew I had to keep going, and I joined Club New Life, and y'all have been the resource that has now been a light for my wife and I.
Go to newlife.com/CNL, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places.
Keep doing what you do because it makes a difference.
newlife.com/CNL. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We've got an online seminar. They call them webinars nowadays, I guess. But we are so excited to tell you about this. Dr. Alice Benton is leading it. It's called From Calm to Chaos, a faith-based webinar on anxiety. Who's this for, Alice?
Oh, it's for anyone who struggles with even moderate to severe chronic anxiety, anybody who struggles with worry. The enemy wants to bring chaos into your calm, and God hates that for us, and he has so many ways to try to protect us and to bring us back from the chaos into calm. I was shocked to learn how much the Bible has to say about anxiety, and he tells us over and over, don't be afraid. But it's very difficult to actually put that into practice. And so we'll be talking in the seminar about simple, doable things we can practice in order to reduce our anxiety and to find the meaning in it. Although God doesn't want it for us, he does use it to lead us to messes in our life that he can help us clean up if we'll let him and other people into the mess. We're also going to talk about the modern version of anxiety and how things like the algorithm on social media, AI, and chat bots, how they can either help with anxiety or greatly exacerbate it.
I would say they greatly exacerbate. The whole concept of chatbots and AI has just got me like, no, I don't want to do this ever. But I don't know. It's the future, they say. So this is August 28th It's online, 7 p.m. Central Time. You can sign up at newlife.com. It's about 90 minutes. The last 30 minutes are going to be a Q&A session, so you can ask your questions. And the price, it is so cost effective. You can tell all your friends. They can all sign up too. You can get the details at newlife.com. Here is John, who is in Concord, California, listening on the, well, he listens to the New Life Live podcast. Hi there, John. Welcome.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking my call, Brian.
You bet. How can we help you today?
Well, so my daughter and son-in-law are in the adoption process, and they've been in it for about a year, waiting for the call, you know. And they got a call last Friday, and their profile was selected. So this is the first that they've had positive news for about a year. So obviously they're interested and eager, but so in speaking with their social worker, they found out that the birth mother is 37, and she has a bipolar condition.
Okay.
And so she's carrying the baby, I believe it's 7 months, so 2 months to go. And the question I had was, and I wasn't able to find an answer on Dr. Google, so I thought I'd call you guys. Is that a hereditary thing that could get passed to a child? And is there anything that, if that is the case, is there anything that could be done to be aware of it, medication, things like that, or, you know, in a proactive way? I understand a lot of times bipolar shows up in people in their 20s or late teens, 20s, but we'd rather not wait that long to figure that out if that's the case.
How old is the child?
Going to be born in 2 months.
Yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What would you guys say?
Yeah, I mean, it's a legitimate question and something to think about here. And you're right. Usually it doesn't show up until late teens, early 20s, bipolar disorder. And so it's good, you know, if that's the child that they've chosen, that they're matched with, and they're going forward with it, it's good to be aware of these things. But the most important thing I would say here, John, is the attachment that they form with that child as the child's parents. Because, yes, I mean, bipolar disorder, if that develops, isn't something that ends up going away. It stays with a person for the rest of their life. But it can be managed, and especially if you have, medication can help, but if you have the right supportive relationships too in place, that can greatly enhance outcomes. Has your daughter and son-in-law committed, like this is the baby that they're going to be adopting, or are they having concerns too?
They're having concerns. They, you know, they're eager because it's been quite a while. My daughter's 39, my son-in-law's 46, so they kind of want to get on with the program. And so their inclination, I would say, is to move forward, but they have not made that decision yet. So,
John, I would add to the preparation part of your question. We have a book, I don't think we have it in stock right now, but it's available on the internet, which is Understanding and Loving a Person with Bipolar Disorder. And so that's something that I think you can purchase from our New Life store. I'd also recommend that they get involved with Dr. Daniel Amen's clinics. He wrote a book, I think it's called The End of Mental Illness, and it talks about all the different things we can do to keep the brain as healthy as possible, and even to help a brain recover that has gone through damage. The National Alliance for Mental Illness is also a group for family members of a person who has a mental health disorder, and they just have so many resources. So being proactive to become equipped with how to handle any kind of mental health issues that may come up is a good way to settle their nerves and to help prepare them for this child.
We'll continue our conversation when we come back here on New Life Live. We also want to talk to Zully and Casey, so stay right where you are. We're going to take a quick break and then we'll speak to you. This is New Life Live. I'm your host, Brian Perez, here with Dr. Alice Benton and Marc Cameron, and we'll be back in a moment.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Do you need help for life's hard situations?
My husband recently said he wanted a divorce.
I'm confused on what I should do.
I have an eating disorder.
New Life Live answers your questions on relationships, grief, addiction, trauma, anxiety, and much more, all from a biblical perspective with our panel of professional counselors and psychologists.
I learn a lot from your program.
You help so many people.
I appreciate your ministry.
Whether you listen or watch, there are so many ways to connect with us to ask our panel of counselors a question. Call us Monday through Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific at 1-800-229-3000 to ask your question on New Life Live. Or go to newlife.com/radio for other ways to get your question answered.
I'm trying to find help.
I just want to know how to set boundaries.
If it's a sin, what am I supposed to do?
Need a therapist or a coach, a resource, or an intensive? Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
John, just for calling in today and getting on the program, we're going to send you a copy of How We Love Our Kids from the newlife.com store. This is available for purchase for anybody, and it's a great resource, The 5 Love Styles of Parenting, One Small Change in You, One Big Change in Your Kids. Again, the book is called How We Love Our Kids. When you give to New Life Ministries, you're helping hurting people like the callers you've heard today connect to the help that they need. Your generosity makes a huge difference. The 3 simplest ways to give are online at newlife.com or by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE or text NLM to 28950. Let's talk now to Zully, who is in Arlington, Virginia, listening on WAVA. Hey, Zully, how can we help you today?
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for taking the call.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Oh, wonderful. Calling about, I have a son that's about to turn 18, and he unfortunately is addicted to the vaping, the pot.
Okay.
And so it's been a long ride since we found out at age about 15 that he was using. He spent 3 months in a inpatient home that really helped with anger management and anxiety. But now here we are again, about to graduate, and just trying to figure out. He told me that he was going to seek help after he graduates high school and he starts working. But my fear is that money is going to go for, to sustain this addiction.
Zully, did you say he started doing this at 15, or you found out when he was 15?
I found out at age when he was 15.
Okay.
So he says he had started like in 10th grade.
Okay.
Because of the anxiety of school. So somebody offered him, and he felt like that was helpful.
Zully, is there any substance use going back in the family line, his dad or your side of the family?
Yes, his dad struggles with alcoholism, and we've been separated for the last 2 years, roughly, living in the same home. So I know that has affected him in some ways.
Is his father at all active in trying to help you counter his son's addiction?
He tries, but my son, it's hard to say. Because he knows of his problem, it's hard to move forward, if that makes sense.
It does. And will your son
I have asked him.
Will your son be relying on you financially, and will he be staying at home after he graduates from high school?
Yes.
So you probably know this, but one of the strongest ways to counter addiction is to limit the privileges he can access in your home if he's not getting help, if he's not striving for his sobriety, and setting the kind of standards you expect of, if you're going to be living in my home, we're going to be doing random drug tests. And if you do continue to use without getting help and showing effort towards sobriety, then we're going to have to rearrange this living arrangement. We're going to have to reconsider it, because I have to insist on sobriety in my home. But obviously it's problematic that his dad is still using and is in the home as well. And so your work, probably with a counselor, of figuring out how do you address both when it might seem hypocritical to him. Well, dad can use. Well, why am I not allowed to use? So if you're not in Al-Anon, which, as you may know, it's the 12-step recovery group for family members of people struggling with addiction, that work will help you, will equip you to know how to both deal with what your husband is going through and what your son is going through.
Well, and Zully, if I'm doing the math here, from what you said, it sounds like he started to use, or you found out right around the time when you and your husband separated. And so obviously when you made that decision to separate, I'm sure there was maybe conflict going on, probably even a year or 2 years before that. So I wonder if some of that has led to influence some of the anxiety that he's having. Have you ever been able to talk with him, or has he ever opened up and shared with you about where he thinks the cause of his anxiety is from?
He did share that it was a lot coming from school. He's in an IEP. He had some learning disabilities. But a lot of the anger management, I think it was growing up seeing how Dad would deal with, problems that would come up. And we did do family counseling during his inpatient stay, which really helped. A lot of things did come out, like you said.
Is he still in counseling? Because I imagine that he did counseling, like you said, during inpatient. Did he enjoy that? Is he willing to try that again?
Yes, he tried it after he came back from the inpatient, but I think he didn't really connect with the counselor, so he just, I think he's in agreement, and like you said, putting the standards and the boundaries out there, that maybe I can say, well, counseling is going to have to happen.
And when you say he's in agreement that he wants to stop vaping?
Yes, he
that's
tells
good.
me, yes, because, he asked for money to go to the mall at times with friends, and my daughters would get upset at me and his older sisters and say, you're enabling because you're giving him money. And I would try to say, well, he still needs money to buy food, if he's going out with his friends. And it's like, where do you draw the line? He needs...
Yeah, it's going to be a balance of, coming alongside him and loving him, but also, as Alice is saying, having those strong boundaries, because that's, this is what he's using as the short-term fix, and it's helpful, it's successful for him, which is why he keeps going back to it. And it is going to be a lot more harder work to be able to manage his anxiety in a different way. And so I agree with Alice. It's about having those firm boundaries, but also coming alongside him and saying, I'm here with you, and let's do this together.
What do you think, Zully?
Okay. No, it makes sense. Everything you guys have said, I'm taking notes here, so we'll implement.
Yeah, there's there's no easy solution to this, Zully, but it's about staying consistent with your boundaries.
Any thoughts, Alice?
I just feel for you that you're being attacked sort of from two angles, both your husband's alcoholism and your son's substance use. So you're sort of surrounded, and learning how to draw your lines and decide what you will and won't put up with from both of the men. That's a really tough road, and I think it's almost impossible to do it alone. So I hope you'll get the support you need to strengthen you to be able to hold to requirements that you want for your household with both men.
We have a book available, several books available in the newlife.com store, but I think we're going to send you Understanding and Loving Your Child Who Smokes Pot. So, Zully, thank you for calling in today to New Life Live.
I like to warn people. It seems like sometimes it goes in one ear and out the other. But what we're seeing is that long-term vaping and long-term marijuana use, it leads to horrific anxiety. It does alleviate it in the short term, but in the long term, it exacerbates it exponentially and can even lead to psychotic symptoms and schizophrenic symptoms. And we're starting to see that happen faster and faster with the grade level of marijuana that's available. It is damaging the brain severely and very quickly.
All right, let's take another call. Here is Casey in Orlando, Florida. What is your question for Dr. Alice Benton and Marc Cameron?
Hello, good afternoon, guys. And it's a blessing to be on here. I listen to y'all all the time.
Thanks, Casey.
I'm really nervous, and I'm just,
You're amongst friends. No need to be nervous. You listen all the time. You know us. Come on, Casey.
Yes, I do. And thank you for making me feel so comfortable. My question is, I'm 57 years old, and I honestly just have to be honest, I just feel stuck. The job I've been on for 30 plus years, or close to 30 years, and I haven't moved from the simple position since I've been there. It's like I get in my comfort zone, and I just don't want to move. I battle a lot of fear. I battle a little bit of shame, and it's like, how do I get over it? I mean, right now, being married, supposed to be the man of my home, the leader of my home, and I just don't feel that's there right now. Because me and my wife, we're going back and forth between, wanting to live here in Orlando or move somewhere else, and I'm just very reluctant to move. So, I mean, it's just causing conflict. And when we try to talk and conversate, it's like two wounded people trying to fix each other.
Yep. All right, Casey, you called the right place. We will have some answers for you when we come back from the break here on New Life Live. So thank you for calling us from Orlando, Florida, and for listening to Sirius XM.
For over 35 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addiction, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
I found a counselor through New Life Ministries, and it's just been outstanding.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first steps toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door for a better tomorrow.
To get someone that's competent, that's good at what they do, it's been like day and night compared to what I've had before.
Call 1-800-639-5433. Club New Life changes lives.
I think I go way back to listening to New Life, learning so much from it, and then becoming a Club New Life member.
Club New Life is a monthly giving family that helps New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people.
I'm so thankful because why I keep giving? Because I keep learning, and I'm so thankful for all the lives that you touch every day and the people's lives. So when I get to still hear the radio show, it's just so encouraging to my heart.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
And you know one reason I give? Because I feel like sometimes I'm hiding behind a counselor's couch, listening to all this great information and not paying. So my guilt of this great advice is alleviated by being a Club New Life member.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. And together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
And here is Casey once again in Orlando, Florida. Hey, thank you so much for calling in, Casey. I think we've got a few more questions for you today. Mark, any questions for Casey?
Yeah, I'm glad you called in, Casey. It sounds like you're at a crossroads and there's some unknown happening here. Your wife wants to move from Orlando, but you've been comfortable working at this job, and I don't know, maybe you're not so comfortable there anymore. Are you happy at this job? Are you content, or are you feeling like you're just going through the motions there?
Oh, no. I'm very happy and content.
Oh, you are.
But that's part of the thing is back when I had got this job, a little bit of backstory. When I first got the job, I was going through a little bit of trouble, and it was some issues I had got into, and I was with a young lady, whatever at the time, and we did some stuff that got me in trouble. So I ended up being put in jail, put on probation, and all that kind of stuff. And at that time, trying to get a job wasn't easy. And then by the time I got this job, which I was just so happy to get it because I was in and out for a little bit, I felt I just needed to hold on to it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, so this is 30 plus years ago that you're talking about when you got in trouble and before you got this job.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, my job has good benefits, the whole nine.
Yeah.
But like I say, I just haven't moved,
Have you had a chance to advance within the company? Has there been an opportunity for promotion or anything?
There's plenty of opportunities to do that. And that's the reason I didn't ever understand why I wouldn't allow myself to step out and take a chance to try to do anything differently.
Casey, are you afraid that if you quit this job and you apply for a new job, then some of your past history might show up in a background check?
Well, it's been so many years now. It shouldn't really matter. It shouldn't even matter.
But are you worried about that?
No, the thing is, I don't have a whole lot of education for the most part. I mean, I've been to some vocational schools. I tried junior college for a little bit, but as I was doing it, I would go in, but I didn't apply myself at that time.
And why does your wife want to move? It sounds like you're very content. It's there's a level of stability in this job and where you're at. Why does she want to move?
She wants to move because honestly, she just want to get out of Florida. She's tired of Florida. She's been wanting to move for a while, and she's feeling I'm the thing. I'm not the thing, but I'm the person that's holding it up. And she makes more money than me, so it's not about that part, but like I say, I'm the one feeling like I'm holding her back.
And you said earlier that you carry a lot of fear and shame. And even though it may not be about this history you pointed to, fear and shame are keeping you from advancing in life. They're keeping you from taking risks that a part of you wishes you would take. A part wants to stay with what's familiar, but another part wishes you would grow more. Is that right?
Right. Correct. Yes.
Could you name one thing from the past that might still be keeping you in fear and shame?
I just think, like I said, I've never stepped out of my comfort zone.
There was some childhood trauma as well, right? Is it okay to name what that childhood trauma was?
Gosh, well, it's kind of hard to, because I mean, when I was growing up, I never thought that I had a real hard life. I was raised with two grandparents, and I thought that everything was good until I got older. But I also started drinking at a very young age, and I was also viewing pornography at a very young age, and I did that all the way up to like my late 20s, 30s. So a lot of times I think I was just medicating all of that stuff with the alcohol and the pornography or whatever.
Casey, that's so humble for you to be willing to bring up. Thank you. That's an important part of your story. Could you also just give us the headline? Why did your grandparents raise you instead of your parents?
My mom was a victim of rape, and I'm a product of that.
Oh, Casey. Oof.
Right.
And when you name that out loud, I hear hesitation in your voice. Does it still bring up strong emotion, as it would for anybody, to declare that, yes, it does? What's the strongest emotion you feel right now, saying that's part of your story?
Because when I was growing up, that was like the family's big secret, and I always feel like, when I was younger, it's like, who's my father? Who's my father? And it was always a made-up story to cover it up. And then my mom, and it wasn't until I got older, revealed exactly what had happened.
So your life has had a chaos around you, even though some of it was in the background and you didn't know why. You didn't know what it was until later. But there have been big parts of your life that were out of your control. And so your life did not go according to the normal order that God wants for all of his children. Life was disrupted for you. You found some ways to cope with it that you realize with hindsight weren't healthy for you, weren't good for you. And so I think you cling to familiarity and you cling to routine because it feels safe. And so it's understandable that a part of you just wants to stay where it's safe, but another part of you doesn't want to. You love your wife enough that you want to take her preferences into consideration. So I would suggest two things, Casey. I think that your history still has a powerful spiritual and emotional grip on your mind and your heart. And I think it's limiting you from becoming the man that God fully created you to be. And then a counselor could help both alleviate some of the weight of that trauma and help your wife and you talk through, what do we do about this desire to move? How do we manage this together when we have conflicting interests?
Yeah, I agree with Alice here, Casey. It's very common for victims to take on the perpetrator's shame. And, given, your experience growing up, where it sounds like you were rejected maybe by your mom here, and your grandparents raised you, and then there's secrets, and then there's a lot of unknown, it makes sense why you bared that shame here. But it's not really your shame. You're carrying someone else's shame here. So I once heard someone say there's no accidental children, there's only accidental parents out there. And so you're not a mistake here, Casey. I don't know if anyone's ever said that to you, but I want to say that to you. And I think being able to get in with a therapist and kind of talk through your story, how your upbringing has affected you, and then having someone, be able to help challenge you to take a risk, because it doesn't sound like you've had that encouragement to do it. But as Alice has brought out, there's that ambivalence there, where there's this comfort, but then there's also this, well, what if? Why haven't I? And I would like to do this. And so the only way you overcome ambivalence is by choosing one way to go. But I think you need to be able to feel supported in doing that, and I think that's where a therapist could help.
Please attend our webinar on August 28th. What we talk about with anxiety and fear will really apply to what you're going through, Casey. Could we send him Healing as a Choice?
Sure. Healing as a Choice. It's on its way to you. And Healing as a Choice is the name of a course that we're going to be starting soon. September 1st on newlife.com is where you can get all the details about that. Healing as a Choice, Lose It for Life, Take Your Life Back. There's 3 different ones that begin September 1st. They are 12 weeks, once a week, and you can get all the details at newlife.com. But Casey, thank you for calling in today. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for your courage in sharing your story too, because it wasn't easy to mention everything that you went through, but we we're here for you, man. Thank you so much for calling in. Thank you for being a longtime listener as well, and for calling in today. God bless you. We are out of time for today, but we're going to be back tomorrow. Dr. Alice Benton and Marc Cameron, thanks for being on with me today. And God bless you all. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for praying for us. Thanks for praying for our listeners. And thanks for supporting us here at New Life Ministries.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.